Rebel Yell Podcast, Triple Live High School Sports Network, presented by Edgar Snyder and Associates. Go local, go with Edgar, helping injured people since 1982. That's a long time. EdgarSnyder.com if you are in need. So, recapping round one. The boys did well from the WPIL in the opening round. Girls, 18 and 18 for the girls. So 500, batting 500. And, that's not a bad thing. Thanks in part to another outstanding first round by the girls in Class 5A. 6 out of 8 move on to the second round. That's a classification that has been dominant in girls basketball until last year. Last year was a little bit of a setback. They didn't dominate. I mean, we're used to them dominating in the state bracket. But they're back to that, their winning ways, winning 6 of 8. 4A did well as well, going 4-2. Rough for the girls in Class A 1 and 5. Boys, for the most part, all above 500 or at 500. Class A was 2-2. Everybody else was a game over 500. 6A had 3 out of 4 advancing, and 5A had 5 of 8. So a good start for the boys. And that's where we will begin our recap. Boys Class 6A from Saturday. The one loss in the classification was Seneca Valley. They lose 69-62 to Red Lion. Came back, made a game of it after Red Lion had built up a double-digit lead. Andrew Omisitz, 21 points. Ryan Priester, 17. And Owen Cogden with 16 points for the Raiders, who lose to Red Lion 69-62. Everyone else from the WPIAL, a winner, including Newcastle defeating West Lawn Wilson handily, 68-38. Good bounce back for the Canes after losing in the WPL Championship. Kai Cox, 22 points. Damian Harrison, 19 points for Nika High. Much anticipated battle between WPIL and City League powers, Central Catholic and Alderdice. They met earlier this year with the Vikings beating the Dragons, and they do it again in round one of the state playoffs, 48-34. Enzo Khalil, congratulations, going over 1,000 points for his career in the ball game. 14 points. Jack Stossel, 13 points for Central Catholic. Keith Taylor with 11 points for Alderdice as their season comes to an end. And finally, from the WPIL, Upper St. Clair over Cedar Crest, 66-52. It was a tough first half for the WPIL, 3-time champs. USC was up 1 after 1, tied at the half, but they pull away. They outscore the Falcons in the second half, 39-25 to win by 13. Leading the way, as he is referred to by his head coach, Mount Robbins, Ryan Robbins with 24 points. He's been tremendous for USC in the postseason. Jake Foster, 16. Luke Marchinsky, 11. The two seniors, Marchinsky was in foul trouble. Foster struggled early on, but they both found their game in the fourth quarter when Upper St. Clair pulled away. The other final scores from Class 6A up and down, it was Chambersburg beating Coatesville 57-49. Methacton over Whitehall, not Baldwin Whitehall, 49-46. Souderton knocks off District 12 power Archbishop Wood 68-66. Central Dauphin 64. Pennsbury 45. Plymouth Whitemarsh 75-45 over Cedar Cliff. Bethlehem Liberty 61. Wilkes-Barre 52. Central York 59. Cheltenham 54. Father Judge 61-45 over Springford. Imhotep Charter 70-40 over Garnet Valley. William Penn 80. Pocono Mountain East 69. In overtime, Delaware Valley 56, Abington 54, and Parkland 61-47 over Conestoga. Second round is set for Wednesday. Upper St. Clair will take on Red Lion. The Lions are 23-4. That game at Hollidaysburg. at 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Central Catholic will take on Chambersburg. That game at Pitt Johnstown at 6 p.m. And Newcastle goes up against Methacton at Penns Valley, a 5:30 start. Not sure that we have to go over where the sites of all the other games, but they are up on our website right now, so you can check them out there. All right, let's go to Class 5A now, and those games were played on Wednesday. They were played on Friday in round 1, boys 5A. WPL champs Chartiers Valley knocks off Exeter Township rather easily, 66-42. It was a sluggish start, 9-7 after 1, but the Colts found their game, as they say, as the kids say, and were able to get it done. 66-42, Chartiers Valley over Exeter Township. Julius Best leading the way for Chartiers Valley with 18 points. Moon goes to Hershey and defeats Hershey by a score of 55-49. Caleb McCloskey with 17 points to lead the way for the Tigers. Shaler falls to Johnstown 68-56. Nick Perez, 17 points in a losing effort for the Titans. Thomas Jefferson struggled but prevails at home over New Oxford 66-61. Monster game for Justin Fry, 40 points to lead the Jaguars. There were times where he was really the only one putting the ball through the hoop for TJ. Penn Hills heads north and they defeat the Meadville Bulldogs 58-45. Leading the way for the Indians, Amon Hawthorne, as he has all year, with 24 points. Calix Clark had 22 for Penn Hills. Gateway 49, Milton Hershey 39. Gators led by Michael Bruce McCroman with 15 points. Chris Settles with 13 points as the Gators season continues. Ringgold and Hampton season will not. Ringgold falls to West York 64-57. David Wachinski, 25 points for the Rams. And Hampton falls at home to Cocalico 61-58. Gavin Gwynn with 20 points for the Talbots. Rest of Class 5A first round results. It was Upper Dublin defeating Spring Grove 57-43. Monsignor Bonner, Archbishop Prendergast 68-35 winners over Sealands Grove. Springfield Delco wins by 2 over Abington Heights 49-47. Octorara 69, Frankfurt 57. Upper Moreland 61-40 over Southern Lehigh. Pencrest wins by 7 over York Suburban. Newman Goretti 35-point winners over Pottstown 95-60, and Crestwood a 2-point winner over Holy Ghost Prep. So Tuesday is the next round for boys Class 5A. Chartiers Valley will take on Cocalico at Altoona at 5 p.m. Gateway against Johnstown at Armstrong at 7:30. Thomas Jefferson against Moon, one of the main features here in District 7. That game is at Peters Township at 7:30, and Penn Hills against West York on Tuesday, 6:30 in Altoona. All right, let's go to Class 4A boys. Quaker Valley falls, the top seed in the WPL championships, the top seed in the playoffs in 4A boys, and then district runner-up Quakers. Season ends 47-43. They lose at home to Hickory Zach Washington, 21 points for the Quakers. Central Valley loses to Erie Cathedral Prep. No shame there. That's one of the best teams in the state. The Ramblers, 79-49. Wyatt Clark, 18 points for the Warriors. Obama Academy carrying the flag for the boys into round 2 from District 8. They defeated Warren 55-50. Eric James, 11 points to lead the way for the Eagles. North Catholic, 64. Sharon, 52. Jude Rotman, 21 points for North Catholic. Deer Lake stuns Huntington, winning in the Bearcats' backyard, 67-54. to 47. Evan Moore, speaking of great playoffs, he continues to roll 30 points for the Lancers. And WPIL champion Knock on their way to round 2. Tegan Finnegan, 18 points. The Knights, 46. And Gerard, 30 in boys Class 4A. Other final scores in Class 4A. We'll just go with the winners. Again, we have these scores up on our website, so we advise you to check them out. We'll be here all day on this podcast, and our producer does not have all day. Archbishop Carroll, Bishop McDevitt, Pope John Paul II, Lewisburg, Devon Prep, Valley View, Salisbury, and Scranton Prep, the other winners in boys Class 4A first round. Second round, Knock against North Catholic, fourth meeting of the year between those two teams. That game is at Plum at 7:30. Deer Lakes will take on District 10 Hickory at Newcastle on Tuesday at 7:30. Obama Academy against Erie Cathedral Prep at Sharon. That is a 7:30 start on Tuesday. All right, let's go to boys Class 3A now, where the Quips of Aliquippa, the WPIL champs, no problem handling Cranberry, 87-52. Khalil Good, 20 points for the Quips in the victory. Our player of the week last week. Seton LaSalle, 67. Eisenhower, 65. Going down to the wire, Will Martin, 23 points for the Rebels as they pull off the upset of the District 10 champs. Mohawk, 57. Everett, 38. Mohawk, a team to watch after being upset in the WPL quarterfinals. Bobby Fadden, 18 points to lead the Warriors. Westmont Hilltop eliminates WPL runner-up South Allegheny, 58-51. Drew Cook led the Gladiators with 15 points. South Park, 90. Perry, 60. Luke Scarf, 42 points for the Eagles. Shadyside Academy eliminated by Forest Hills, 58-39. Ligonier Valley lost to Bishop Guilfoyle, 62-43. So the Bulldogs and the Rams seasons come to an end. Other winners in Class 3A, West Catholic, Executive Education, School of the Future, Taylor Riverside, Notre Dame Green Pond, Lancaster Mennonite, Universal On-Ride Charter, and Warrior Run. Matchups Wednesday in 3A, Aliquippa against District 6 Forest Hills at Norwin at 6 o'clock. Mohawk against Camp Hill Trinity from District 3 at Richland High School at 6 p.m. Seton LaSalle will take on Westmont Hilltop from District 6 at IUP at 7:30. And South Park against District 6 Bishop Guilfoyle at Norwin High School. And that is a 7:30 start in boys Class 3A. All right, 2A games. Jeanette, WPIL runner-up, rolls past Northern Cambria, 72-34. The Jayhawks led by Marcus McGowan with 26 points. Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, a winner over Conemaugh Township, 47-35. Tiernan McCullough, 16 points for the Chargers. Sewickley Academy, the WPL champs, no problem at all with District 10 Sagertown, 65-25. Lucas Grimsley, 14 points for the Panthers. Clareton wins at Cochranton, 55-52, D7 over D10. Eden Christian Academy falls to McConnellsburg, 58-55. Excuse me. Winchester Thurston, a loss to Mercyhurst Prep, 66-45. And Jefferson Morgan, behind 24 points by Jeremiah Robertson, defeats Red Bank Valley, 50-26. Other winners, Port Allegheny, Philadelphia Constitution, Delone Catholic, Old Forge, Delco Christian, Susquehanna Paul Roberson, Clarion, and not Clareton, Clarion, and United remains unbeaten. They defeated Neshannock 54-36. The matchups on Wednesday in boys 2A in second round, Sewickley Academy against Port Allegheny at Penn West Clarion at 7:30. Clareton takes on McConnellsburg at Pitt Johnstown at 7:30. Jefferson Morgan against Jeanette. Combined, those teams are 47-5. They meet at Peters Township at 7:30, and Osh against Mercyhurst Prep at Sharon High School. That is a 7:30 start. All right, finally in boys Class A, first round action. The four teams went a combined 2-2. WPL champion Neighborhood Academy beat St. Joe's Catholic Academy from District 6, 50-32. Kedron Gilmore, 24 points for the Bulldogs. Sarah Catholic, the runners-up in District 7, win 68-49 over Bishop Carroll. Tyler Sapita continues his hot postseason with 18 points. Nazareth Prep falls to Erie First Christian, 92-74, and Monessen loses to Elk County Catholic, 61-29. Rodney Johnson, 14 points for the Greyhounds. Zach Fry had 23 in a losing cause for the Saints of Nazareth Prep. Class A winners elsewhere: North Clarion, Johnsonburg, Conestoga Christian, Forbes Road, High Point Baptist, Fiemont Christian, Plumstead Christian, Coventry Christian, we've hit a theme, Bethlehem Christian, Sankofa Freedom, York Country Day, and Chester Charter. Tuesday, second round, PIAA Class A, Neighborhood Academy against Johnsonburg from District 6 at Punxsutawney at 7:30. North Clarion, well, that's not a WPL team. Sarah Catholic, the only other WPL team. They'll be taking on Elk County Catholic at Punxsutawney at 6. So both of the Class A teams will be at Punxsutawney High School at 6 and 7:30 on Tuesday. All right, let's go to the girls, and we'll start in Class 6A. And again, this was kind of tough sledding with only one survivor. Of course, there were only 3 teams. Cannon McMillan is that one survivor. Madison Clare, 13 points. They defeated Governor Mifflin by a score of 48-46. WPIL runner-up, Norwin, eliminated by Altoona, 59-54. Ava Christopher, 20 points for the Knights. And Upper St. Clair falls to City League Alderdice, 49-42. Ryan Prunzik, 10 points for the Panthers. Bailey White for the Dragons with 22 points. Other winners in girls 6A, Emmaus, Dallaston, Altoona, Pennsbury, Cardinal O'Hara, West Lawn, Wilson, Upper Dublin, Perkiomen Valley, Hazelton, Parkland, Easton, Red Lion, Downingtown West, and Archbishop Carroll. The 2 local teams left to play each other on Tuesday. Cannon McMillan, 22-4, Alderdice, 20-6 at Peters Township. That is a 6 p.m. start on Tuesday. As far as girls 5A, and I mentioned before that this classification got off to a wonderful start. Trinity upsets Hollidaysburg, District 6 champions, 39-29. Vid Emmerich, 17 points for the Hillers. Sutton Williamson with 13 points. One of the 2 teams to lose was Thomas Jefferson, the WPIL runners-up. They fell at home to Manheim Central, 43-41. Emily Ritz, 15 points. Maggie Spell concludes her great career with 10 points. Indiana stuns state-ranked number 2 Cathedral Prep, 46-34 in Erie. Julian Antonacci leading the way for the Little Indians in the upset with 17 points. In overtime, Peters Township stuns host Susquehannock, 46-41. Madeline Meal with 12 points to lead the Indians to the victory. Penn Trafford, no problem, 65-48 over West York. Tori DiStefano, 24 points for the Warriors. Baldwin goes to Middletown, a nice 3-hour trek, and comes away with a win, 67-60. The victory for the Highlanders. Lindsay Bernatus with 25 points. Lacey Bernatus with 17 points for the purple and white. Fox Chapel season ends 61-30 to York Suburban. Lila Jablin concludes her career with 10 points. And South Fayette 64-35 winners over Milton Hershey. Juliet LaRue with 24 points. Haley Lamonti 13 for the Lions. So other winners in 5A girls, Lampeter Strasburg, Mount St. Joseph, Marple Newton, Crestwood, Bethlehem Catholic, Villa Maria Academy, North Pocono, Archbishop Wood. Matchups Wednesday, South Fayette against Penn Trafford at Peters Township at 6 p.m. Indiana takes on Baldwin at Fox Chapel, a 7 p.m. start. Peters Township against Manheim Central at Altoona at 6:30, and Trinity against York Suburban in Altoona at 5 p.m. All right, girls 4A also off to a good start. North Catholic defeats Forest Hills 50-37. Brady Wayner 16 points for the Trojans. Blackhawk 45, Fairview 34. Aubrey Hupp 22 points for the Cougars. Bell Vernon, a rare PIAA state playoff win, 58-46 over Clearfield. Aubrey Brown with 24 points for the Leopards. And WPIAL champion Oakland Catholic, 64-26 winners over Corey. Josie Fontana and Brooklyn Rozier each with 12 points. Zephanie Troxler-Scott also had 12 points in a balanced attack for the Eagles. A couple teams fallen by the wayside. South Park loses to Harbor Creek 42-38. Haley Bennett 16 for the Eagles. And Elizabeth Forward falls at Slippery Rock 54-46. Kaylin Settles with 17 points for the Warriors in that victory, or in the loss, I should say, season-ending loss for EF. Susquehanna Township, Universal Audenrod Charter, Scranton Prep, Allentown Central Catholic, Central Columbia, Villa Joseph Marie, Valley View, Newman Goretti. Hello, Newman. All winners Wednesday, second round, girls 4A. Oakland Catholic against Slippery Rock at North Allegheny at 6 o'clock. Penn Cambria takes on DeLone Catholic. Who cares? Well, I mean, they care, but Blackhawk against Bell Vernon at North Allegheny. So good doubleheader at North Allegheny with Oakland Catholic Slippery Rock at 6, Blackhawk Bell Vernon at 7:30, and then North Catholic takes on Harbor Creek at Sharon High School at 6 p.m. All right, let's go to girls Class 3A, a near major upset there as the WPIAL champions, Shadyside Academy, struggled, but they won in overtime 63-54. Karis Thomas leading the way in that game, 22 points for the Bulldogs as they escaped the upset bid of Marion Central. Seat LaSalle falls at Karn City, 37-24. Ava Maroney, 17 points for the Rebels. Our Lady of the Sacred Heart loses to Central Cambria, 54-27. Cam Hummel, 12 points for the Chargers. Greensburg Central Catholic, district runners-up, rebound with a 66-14 victory over Cranberry. Erica Gribble doing what she does, scoring a lot of points, 27 for the Centurions. Quaker Valley falls to Northwestern, 35-22, ending the great career of Mimi Thero. She had 15 points for the Quakers. Beaver Falls moves on, 54-52 winners at home over Seneca. Taylor Pullen, 21 points for the Tigers. Other 3A winners, Troy, Camp Hill Trinity, Imhotep Charter, Holy Redeemer, Paquillo Valley, Schuylkill Haven. I hate driving that expressway. That's why I butchered the name. Hughesville, Notre Dame, Green Pond, Dunmore, and Executive Education. Tuesday, round 2, Shadyside Academy against Beaver Falls at Hampton at 7 o'clock. Karn City against Central Cambria at Plum at 6 p.m. Greensburg Central Catholic against Northwestern. That game is at Sharon High School at 6 p.m. All right, to girls class 2A, and it was Chartiers Houston defeating Kane 46-34. 29. Allie Wingard, 15 points for the visiting Buccaneers as they move on to round 2. Winchester Thurston, 10-point winner over Everett, 60-50. Deshae Cochran, 24 points for the Bears. Aliquippa, their season ends 60-50 or 60-45, a loss at Keystone. Danny Henry, 9 points to lead the Quips. WPL champion Neshannock moves on. They eliminate fellow WPIL member Burgettstown, 80-26. Jaden Nogue, 19 points for the Lancers. Paige Klodowski, 10 points for the Blue Devils. Rochester falls big to power Kennedy Catholic, 75-35. Cameron Newman, 13 points for the Rams. Fort Cherry loses to Wilmington, another District 10 power, 68-34. Amaro Martino, 10 points for the Rangers. Other winners in girls Class 2A, Shalom Christian, Southern Columbia, Faith Christian, Mountain View, Wyoming Seminary, Marian Catholic, York Catholic, and Berlin Brothers Valley. Tuesday, round 2, Neshannock to take on Penns Manor from District 6 at Armstrong at 6 o'clock. Kennedy Catholic against Keystone at Grove City at 7 o'clock. Chartiers Houston against Bishop McCourt from District 6 at Norwin at 7 p.m. and Winchester Thurston against Wilmington from District 10 at Newcastle at 6 p.m. Finally, girls Class A, and it was tough sledding, as I mentioned before, 1 and 5 by district teams in girls Class A. Union, which has had so much success in the state playoffs, falls to District 9 power Elk County Catholic, 40-31. Allie Simons with 12 points for the Scotties. Sewickley Academy falls to Farrell, 57-45. Emma Anarino with 19 points for the Panthers. Geibel Catholic loses big to St. Joseph Catholic Academy, 91-35. Emma Larkin closes out her magnificent career with 19 points. St. Joe's of Natrona Heights falls to Clarion Limestone, 58-37. A lot of St. Joe's, we got to clear it up. Bella Bartolovic with 10 points. Casey Sinek with 10 points as well for the Spartans. Sarah Catholic WPIL champs fall to Williamsburg, 60-36. Bella Dombrowski, 17 points for the Eagles, but the lone bright spot in girls Class A was Aquinas Academy. They won 58-40 over Northern Bedford County. Tess Dewar, 19 points to lead the way for the Crusaders. Class A, only one team to talk about it. That's Aquinas Academy. They will be taking on District 6 Bishop Guilfoyle at Indiana University of Pennsylvania on Wednesday at 6 p.m. So there you have it. I was going to say brief. There's nothing brief about it. Rundown of round 1 plus round 2. Again, all the information, if you're looking for, have interest of games in other districts, currently on our website, tribhssn.triblive.com. I'm Don Rebel. Road to Hershey continues here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.